So I start right away by introducing myself. I am Gautam Pant, currently working as Associate Professor and Program Director in School of Construction, RICS SBE. I have, before joining RICS SBE, around 17 years of experience of working with NTPC Limited, the largest power producer in India. Post that, I have joined RICS SB. I'm a BTech civil engineer and MBA in HRM from SP Jain's Global School of Management in Dubai and Singapore. I'm a Fulbright scholar, currently undertaking my PhD from IIT Delhi. So I welcome you all on this webinar, and let me begin by giving you an overview of the course and the context that we are in currently. I will not take too much of time in talking about the PowerPoint presentation that we have tried to put in here for you guys. The idea is just to get the discussion started so that you are aware about the context that we are operating in, all of you, and are able to better judge your career choices and make a better decision. So as you all know that we are growing and growing at a very fast pace. We are poised to be the third largest economy by 2030 with 6.7% of GDP growth until 2030. That would be the third largest globally. Now, these are the facts that I'm presenting you from a KPMG report, which is dated August 2016 last year. But I guess the testimonials are just a matter of fact. You guys would be aware about the kind of buzz that we have created post this new government in place and the kind of efforts that it has taken for development of infrastructure, not only in terms of roads and other networks, but also in terms of urban infrastructure. Moving forward, construction in India is fast growing and it is an expanding market. To cite a few facts, the contribution of the sector to Indian GDP may reach 15% by 2030, which is quite a substantial amount. And it is supposed to be, this particular sector is supposed to be the largest employer in India by 2022, and it is expected to employ more than 75 million people. The investment is huge. We are expecting an investment of USD 1 trillion, and the size of Indian construction market in 2025 is supposed to be third largest globally. Now that's a huge number. So some of you might think or would be feeling that the pace right now is not breakneck as it should have been. Yeah, sure. Mohit, let me finish this entire presentation first, and then I will take up your questions, definitely your questions later on. So let me just finish through the presentation, and then can I have the questions, please? I request Nandini and other people to be patient. Once this entire presentation is over, I'll be able to take your questions. So as I was saying, there's a huge investment in the sector, as you can see, and the investment required for the housing for all by 2022 is used $2 trillion, and the potential value of commercial office assets is 450 million square feet worth $45 billion. So the government programs, as you all would be aware, there are quite a number of programs which are launched by this particular government. We have Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we have smart cities. Already few smart cities have been listed. I don't know whether your cities are one of them. And you have several policy reforms. The major one of them was the Real Estate Act and the GST, which is about to be rolled in July, August. There is a global opportunity in the industry. You have around 70% of global wealth is in real estate, and there is most importantly 80% shortage of talent, which we intend to fill as one of the objectives of RICS. So the sector is gaining dramatically. You have now more focus on transparency, accountability, customer centricity, and compliance. As you all might be aware that this particular sector in India, although has been a big sector, and there are some very big players in this particular sector, but this sector still screams of a lot of organization being brought into it, and transparency being one of the major concerns, and so is compliance. And most importantly, the entire attitude needs to take a shift if we want our projects to be finishing in time, which seems to be a major bottleneck, which is there, which is hindering our growth, and we are not able to realize it to the maximum potential. But the question is, are you prepared to be a part of this growth journey? Uh, if you see, there are around 5.2 million professionals which are required by 2022, and your just basic degree, basic civil engineering degree would not be enough. You would be needing to have the requisite management skills, which not only which leverage your technical skills, but give you the requisite leadership skills and skills to coordinate effectively in the construction industry, to project you in the larger trajectory, to give you a great career. And we at RSCS SBE are supposed to help you in doing that. Now, let me dwell a little on why RSCS SBE came about. The major idea of this particular institute being formed is one, to establish an industry-led institute, and people like me from the industry have come in and to be a part of this particular institute to give you that extra edge. While you all would have gone through your MBA, your BTech training, and most of you would be aware about the technical details of civil engineering, but most of you would have only had a cursory training in project management, that is, of course, taken as one of the subjects in your BTech. But we here aim to bridge that gap between your employability of being a great project manager and, of course, being a great engineer. So the focus is that the entire course is being delivered and should be delivered through industry experts who will not only help you to understand the basic concepts, but also help you by imparting their practical knowledge, so that the entire course is not just given to you as a theoretical concept, but requisite application of the concepts which are being taught to you are given to you. Now, in the School of Construction and so in the School of Real Estate, we boast of faculty who have great amount of professional experience. So they are not just teachers. They are basically people with great amount of practical exposure, and who have applied these concepts and would be able to impart them in much better way to you, so that you become successful. I need not reiterate this once again. There is a lack of skilled professionals. I think most of the skilled people who come out from their BTech degree are not considered to be employable by by different employers, because the major skill of coordination, the major skills which relate to employability, which we'll be talking to you about a little later, lacks. You know that the technology is changing changing the world. Whether you talk about augmented reality, whether you talk about virtual reality, you talk about biometrics data, you talk about Internet of Things. The entire landscape is changing, and changing fast. Now, when you talk about the living aboards, we just not talk about creation of cities, we are talking about creation of smart cities. Now, of course, the definition of smart cities has not been finalized as yet, but they are supposed to leverage technology a great deal to give an experiential, living in bigger cities, so that people are able to leverage technology for giving us standard quality of living and even better standard quality of living. Of course, there are drones, and there's big data. Now, we do talk about knowledge management and big data. I have handled knowledge management myself. Now, these are the concepts that we talk to you about in this particular course, and make you aware how much sharing of knowledge and sharing of the know-how amongst the technical trainers would help leverage company the kind of tactical knowledge or experiential knowledge that these companies have. Now let's look at the skills which are required for the future jobs, from primarily the jobs in the built environment sector. So we talk about the advanced project management skills. We talk about knowledge and application of lean techniques and building information management in construction. We talk about scheduling through softwares like Primavera, TLOs, and MS projects. We're talking about strong analytical skills. We are talking about estimation through Candy Costex, which is primarily the software which we taught here to construction economics and quantity surveying students. We talk about excellent communication skills, and we talk about passion for energy, conservation, and sustainability. Now, all these aspects, all these subjects are being dealt in a very deliberate manner in all the courses that we are teaching different students. Of course, the focus of different courses is different. When I talk to you about the different courses, I will be able to tell you about that. So the reasons that I would like to, to give you to be able to choose a specialized MBA rather than a regular one is that you will there is the desire, from the industry to have requisite qualified professionals, and people who are experts in this field are really lacking. So there is a demand, and you can really leverage your technical knowledge to fulfill their demands. Now, you have therefore immense career opportunities. This is a techno-managerial course, so it's not that you're doing a civil engineering and then you're going for a generic MBA course, which most of you do. You land up into, IIMs and other places. So as I was talking to you about different skills, as you can see in your screens, these are the skills that we are talking about. Now, these, of course, are skills which are pertaining to the construction project management or the built environment sector when we need managers. So we do not need managers who have a generic MBA course or a degree, but we need people not with a technical background who can understand management much better. Because as you can see, the people with a generic MBA would not be suitable for such kind of a course. Now, to take you forward, yeah, sure, Ambikesh. I will tell you about why it is RICS and MET just in a while. I'm sorry about the glitch. Give me 5 more minutes or 3 more minutes to finish this entire um, uh, this entire talk. Now, most importantly, this degree opens to you doors for foreign recruitment also. So we have our students being placed in Dubai right now, and this degree opens a gateway to the MRICS degree, which is a globally known and recognized degree, and and this particular degree would help you to take a leap into those international careers which you really want to basically work in. Now there are, I would not go through each and every course. I will quickly run through them. Now there are four type of courses that we are offering. We are offering MBA in construction project management. We are offering MBA in construction economics and quantity surveying. They are under the School of Construction. Then we are offering MBA in real estate and urban infrastructure. And we have MBA in infrastructure management. Apart from that, we are basically having MBA, we are having a PGD, PG diploma in facilities management, which is a 1 year course. Now, each and every course has a distinction in its own self. So if you look at construction management, MBA in construction project management, see that forms a root course. So as the construction managers are there in real estate and urban infrastructure, they are required in infrastructure also. They are also required in facility management. So this particular course gives you the base, or if you want to have a wider applicability for a career, I would say that, and you're very good with your technical skills, I would say that you should be joining MBA Construction Project Management. Now, construction economics and quantity surveying is basically about cost management, and the people who are into it would have different areas, such as quantity surveying, cost management, contracts management. You have contracting, which you'll be working in. So all these areas are specialties of people who are dealing in construction economics and quantity surveying. Now, MBA in real estate and urban infrastructure, on the other hand, focuses on the entire gamut, from starting from the acquisition of the land to acquiring it, to developing it, to finally, having the entire life cycle. Yes, of course, Ranjit, can you please hold on for your question while I just move forward and quickly end this entire course material, talk. So MBA in infrastructure management would help you uh, to work in all these areas, in transaction and advisory, in feasibility analysis, project due diligence, and things like that, all related to the infrastructure sector. The focus out there is more on financial feasibility, feasibility analysis, all the aspects or paraphernalia associated with infrastructure management, and that's how it is different from construction project management. Yeah, so PGD in facilities management is 1 year course and specializes only in facilities management. With the amount of real estate booming across the country, the demand for the facility managers have gone really up, and that is required, and that therefore I feel that it's a very lucrative career. So all this, this degree is basically an RICS accredited degree. Some of you had doubts about uh, where is the role of MET and RICS into it. Now, this is the only course in the whole wide world which is not only accredited by RICS, but it is run as a joint venture between RICS and MET. Nowhere else in the world RICS owns a stake in an educational institute. If you look at all these educational institutes which are there on your screen right now, they are accredited by RICS degree, and we all, we have been recently re-accredited by RICS for offering a degree. MET, of course, offers you the final degree, but that degree is accredited by RICS. Now, that's how the relationship between MET and RICS. So we operate under the university framework, but the entire course content is designed by us, delivered by us, delivered by our own faculty. Now, these are the recruiters which have come till now. You can see big names like Mace for construction contracting, FCons, Tata Consulting Engineers, Shapurji Palanji, all these people. Shinu, I'll talk to you about CPM placements. Since I'm seeing the questions I'm answering right now, we have around 80% of people who are eligible, people who have already been placed, and we are still not over with the placement process. The last year, the placement was 100%. Hemant, I guess everybody else is able to see the slide. So individual problem, I'm really sorry if you're not able to see the slide on your screen. But if you can hear my voice, it's good enough for you to understand what I'm talking about. I really, So the Tushar, for the average package that we are talking, it's around 6.16 lakhs per annum. Now we have already had almost the people getting an average CTC of around 10,000 dirhams in Dubai. I know of a few of my students. Yes, the package, Mustafa, is irrespective of your experience. So I mean, there are freshers also who have been placed at much higher package for that matter. Abhinav, I will be able to talk to you a little later about your questions, please. Once I've just finished. So the recruiters for real estate, if you can see, REO, L&T Realty, Lodha Group, we have CBRE, we have JLL, you name the company and it is there for real estate and urban infrastructure. Bank and financial institutions like Kotak, like IDFC, DHFL, IIFL, these are, Hemant, see, we have these courses do have different site visits and industry experts talk which will be given to you. That is apart from the training which is given to you in the college. Now please understand that we are talking about an institute which is an industry-led institute. So it's very rare that your teachers would be able to enrich your classroom learning with their own experiences, and whatever is left, we are able to buttress it by people coming from outside, giving you a different paradigm. Yeah, Rakshita, just a moment, please. I'll just take 2 more minutes. I think that is over, and let me come to your questions first. Let me, put it to the complete screen so that I can see you all. See the questions and take the questions from the beginning, please. So, yeah. So there were some questions about, there were some questions about the placements, please. For 15-17 batch, we had 58% of people placed up till 7th of April, but as of the current statistics, we are close to 75%, and the placement is still ongoing. We have 325 companies supporting us. There were 60 companies which have participated till now, and 18% of the BTech candidates have been placed internationally. We have 24 lakh as a highest CTC, and the average was 6.1. For 24 to 2016 batch, we had 100% placements. We had the highest CTC as 18.2 lakhs. That's the placement statistics. I guess, let me begin with the questions from right in the beginning. Ambikesh says why it is RICS MET. I've already talked to you about. Anandini, your question is about bridge construction summer internship. We would not be able to help you specifically with the internship part during the, just for that. But if you take admission here in this college, we would definitely look into your specific requirement during the internship. But you would appreciate that while we have a very strong internship program, which is given 4 credits in School of Construction and 3 credits in other school, we make all out effort to see that this internship is given as per the choice of the student. But as of now, all the students, which mind you are around 480 for CPM, have been given internships, have already got internships. Now, the next question for Arko Jyoti is for government jobs, which subjects do I have to study thoroughly? Now, please understand, Arko Jyoti, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is that we do not guarantee government placement through the courses that we offer. As of now, to my understanding, construction project management is not the MBA per se, which has been opted as an optional course for Indian engineering services or any other, government jobs. But of course, this particular job, this particular degree helps you get a very good placement in all the private sector institutes. That's there. So there's a question by Vasala Manoj Kumar. You've said that you have your BTech in civil, confusion for future studies. Now, I've given you a choice of MBA programs. The most obvious choice for a civil engineer is, of course, construction project management, but depends entirely upon your keenness to be in the technical field. If you want to be closely associated with civil engineering, I would say construction project management or construction economics and quantity surveying are there for you. More importantly, if you are very good with analytics, construction economics and quantity surveying is a course for you. However, if you have very good communication skills and you want to go in a real estate sector, which is much more dynamic, I would say MBA real estate and urban infrastructure is there for you if you have very good communication skills. MBA infrastructure management, if you have the flair for being a part of that planning group or have keen interest to pursue infrastructure, that's the course for you. You are eligible as a civil engineer to apply for all the courses. Moving forward, um, so Harbinder, I've already talked about your options as a civil engineer. I think Tushar, you talk about the courses that we need to take, whether it is a civil engineering course or Um, well, you want to understand there's a question by Rakshita, which says that understand the scope of MTech in construction engineering management and its employability options. How different is MBA in construction management? Now, Rakshita, I would just say that MTech is entirely focused on the technical aspect of being a civil engineer, whereas this is a techno-managerial course, and I'm sure that the applicability of these management courses would be much more than the mere MTech course. So it is your choice. Now, MTech also offers you a very restrictive choices. So you could either go in for any kind of, let's say, MBA and MTech in structures. So you can only have a career as a designer. But out here, when you do a course in MBA construction project management, or you do a course in MBA in real estate, that has got much more wider options. Of course, not only pertaining to the technical aspect, but also to the managerial aspects. Vaibhav, you are talking about the course on facilities management. That's a 1-year diploma that focuses entirely on facilities management. So it does have courses of finance. It does have other courses which actually make you more specialized in handling facilities. Now, a facility manager, becomes key in handling the entire gamut of the facilities coordination within a built facility, and with the number of the societies and the real estate establishments going up, the role of a facility manager is becoming even more important. um, yeah, so Madhav, tells me a little bit more detail about construction economics. Now, see, construction project management and construction economics, the some of the subjects of construction project management are also taught. In fact, first two semesters are entirely common for MBA construction project management and construction economics. Shinu, there is no discrimination of South Indians. Let me reaffirm it here, and I think we are extremely friendly to all the students who've been here. There were so many South Indian students that we had in our college. I thought that this is a more pressing question, and I must immediately attend. And some of them were my personal favorites. So there's no discrimination at all, and we are there to help. So uh, Weber, I just shared with you the companies which had shown interest. I'll bring back the slides. If you could see the companies in construction, contracting and consulting, and real estate and financial sectors. Um, Nandini, this course does not specifically cater to bridge construction. It's about construction project management. So it not only caters to the management of construction, but it could be any kind of construction. It could be a building construction. It could be a it could be a bridge construction or any other infrastructure construction. But if you are specifically looking at the management of infrastructure, then you need to go in for MBA infrastructure management. Um, Rakshita, your question is the fee structure is quite high. What are the scholarships that are offered? There are scholarships offered for meritorious students, and depending upon your performance in the college, the scholarships are offered to the students. But that depends entirely on your performance. You can have a separate question. So I'll just type in the email ID. You could, if you could note down, it is RSCS SBE at rics.org. So in case you have any further questions, you can actually send your email specifically about getting the details of scholarships. Scholarships are available, but you need to be eligible for that. Shinu says, what is the intake of CPM? Shinu, year before 2015-17 batch, we had around 242 students. Now we had just almost the double capacity of the students. Right now the intake is on. I think we have easily crossed around 200 odd people, and the target again is close to 300 people. I think for this particular course. What are the industries if I obtain MBA in construction economics and quantity surveying? See, it is all about cost management. So you could work in any industry. Now, cost management has been known to give a leverage of around 30% saving in some of the companies. I had a talk with a person from Reliance, and he told me that the cost management engineers or construction economics and quantity surveying engineers were able to make an effect of 30% in the overall cost of the project. So that is done by value engineering. This is done by closely cost management. This is done by contract management. So all these are the areas which are present in all the construction companies. So and consulting firms. So it is the value of the construction economics and quantity surveys is increasing day by day. How does Lohit says how does CPM differs from REUI? Now CPM specifically focus more on technical details pertaining to civil engineering, whereas real estate and urban infrastructure is all about urban planning. It talks about land acquisition. It talks about valuations and all things related with the real estate. Um, Madhav, the industries that you work for construction economics, I think I'll just go back to the slide. You can watch that. So all the companies which are there for construction, contracting and consulting, you can choose. Right now we had Al Nabuda taking people from CEQS. We had Shapurji Palanji taking people from CEQS. So there are n number of people who have taken people with construction economics and quantity surveying background. Um, I've already asked a question about what is the intake of CPM. Um, I left the answer in midway about construction economics and quantity surveying, so I think I've explained to you now in a greater details. Let me go through the questions. Yeah, there is a question about whether to study here or stay abroad and what's the future scope. Now, my dear Virang, uh, it is entirely a question which is open to you. and your choice really. What we can say is that we are offering to you a course which is led by industry led professionals who have extensive experience. I can speak for myself. As I told you, I have around 17 years of experience of working in NTPC in different capacities, and there are several others. I think I'm one of the middle kind of experience holders here in the company. There are people with much more experience that they have, and most importantly, this course is accredited by RICS, which is an accreditation body which is accrediting the courses across the globe. So I don't see how this course does not compare with any contemporary courses across the world, but eventually the decision is yours. Um, Okay, MBA after BTech or MBA after 2 years experience of site, which one is good? So Shiva, there's no specific answers to this. I would say, I think we do not have any minimum requirement of your experience for this particular course. Of course, as an experienced professional, I can say that if you come for an MBA after say 2 years or 3 years of experience, your ability to anchor the concepts which are being taught in the course is much better than a person who do not or who does not have any experience before coming for any kind of an MBA course. And that is true not just for MBA in construction project management or any MBA courses that we are dealing out here. It is true for all the courses, all the MBA courses. Well, I think I've explained about construction economics and quantity surveying. Um, Mohit, your question is about CPM or QS. Which courses has the higher growth? I would say both the courses prepare you for having the highest growth, any unlimited growth that you can achieve. It is entirely upon you as a worker how much you leverage from these particular courses. See, the courses in itself can give you the state-of-the-art knowledge and can prepare you, but eventually, how much you leverage the course, what is the package that you derive at the end of the course, what is the learning that you derive at the end of the course, and how you perform after this particular course is entirely dependent upon how sincere you are with the course and how sincere you are and what kind of attitude you have as a professional. And of course, we are going to tell you about all that while you are undertaking these courses, but eventually the onus lies on yourself. Okay. There's a question, very interesting question called, I think Puvilan is saying that is placement in NICMAR higher than RACS? I'm not presently qualified to talk about the the NICMAR placement figures right now, but I must say, I must tell you that how RACS distinguishes itself from NICMAR is that NICMAR offers you a PG diploma and its degree is not accredited by RACS, which is the leading accreditation, global accreditation body. Uh, in contrast, RACS offers you not only a degree which is accredited by which RACSSB offers you a degree accredited by RACS, but it also opens the door for you to acquire the MRACS degree, which I think you can apply after 2 years of completing your professional experience, which is a degree which is recognized very strongly in the Middle East and in Southeast Asia and rest of the world too. It is a degree which is globally recognized, and that is the edge that only RICS SB can offer you. So I can really not comment about the placements in NECMAR being higher than RICS. Yes, of course, I can share you the figures of RICS placements, which I have already done. Akash, you are talking about the PPT that I've already presented. I would ask you to please send a request for the recording or to the email that I typed a little while before, and you'll be able to get the information. I've talked about facility management. Virang says is well, I've already talked about MTech in construction engineering management and MBA. That's totally I've talked about it. Gautam says, what about the entrance and interview in RACS? Now, the entrance process is about you need to take up a written examination, which is an aptitude test and an English language test. I think if you are good with math, you'll be easily able to cruise through that written examination, and it is followed by an interview. you need to be qualified in all to be selected for RSA's SBE. I think that's what. What is the CMAT score applicable for admission? There is no CMAT score which is there. I think you can write further at the email that I've written for further clarification. I've talked about difference between Mayuresh talks about difference between CPM and construction management. Mayuresh, we offer a degree in construction project management, and I think both of them are the same. Mr. Rawat says, which type of MBA is better if I want to open my own firm in India? That depends, Mr. Rawat, on your business plan. Really, if you want to take up a firm which takes up construction project, you need to go in for MBA CPM. If you are looking at being a developer, I think it is MBA real estate and urban infrastructure for you. If you want to open a consultancy, I think MBA infrastructure is the course for you. Even for that matter, construction economics and quantity surveying gives you an edge in consulting. You can really open your own firm in terms of giving consultancy. One of our teachers, Mr. Nimish Gupta, is a consultant repute, who's also teaching construction economics and construction management students. Okay, can we do multiple courses at the same time in US? Ranjit, I would not be able to tell you about the courses in the US. I'm sorry, I would not be qualified to answer this question. CMAT scores are not acceptable. Only CAT, MAT, GMAT, and ZAT scores are acceptable. Okay, moving forward. So why should I prefer, Abhinav says, why should I prefer RACS MET over NICMAR? I think, Abhinav, I've given you enough reasons to prefer RACS MET over NICMAR. The profiles of the faculty would be there for you to see, which is there online. I can tell you from my experience of being a program director who's designed the curriculum, I think the amount of placements that we have had in just, this is, I think, the fourth year. We started in 2013, and the amount of intake that we've had, the amount of placements that we have had, the quality of placements that we've had gives a testimonial to our own prowess for that matter. And of course, that's the RICS edge that you get in at RICS SBE, which makes it a better choice, I think, than NICMAR. Srinu says after CPM, MBA and CPM, it will be more work inside an office. It could be either way, Srinu. And I think all those students who are offering or who are planning to do construction project management should be willing to work at site also, because at the end, during the time of the placement, we really do not have control over the companies coming, and it's bad for a construction manager to opt for not going to site. Of course, there are office jobs also, but side jobs would be equal in measure. Rakshita, admissions for 2017-19, is it too late to apply? No, I urge you to apply as soon as possible. Mustafa says, how rigorous is the MBA CPM program? I'm planning to work on weekend for 2 years. Mustafa, I would request you to go in for a full-time program. This is a full-time program, and we expect our students to put in their heart and soul in the program. So I'm not sure whether you're planning to work on weekend for 2 years would be possible. So why should I prefer RACS MET over NICMAR? I think I've already answered that question. I have heard, sir, I have heard that foreign degrees in India are not given much value. Abhinav, I hope you are aware that RACS has now been RACS accredited professionals have now been recognized by the government of India as the people who can directly act as valuers. So if I'm MRICS, I can directly go in for valuation. Trust me, my father is a valuer and an IIT graduate. I know for sure that an RACS degree not only is acknowledged in India, but it is also being respected in the industry equally. See, Abhinav, you cannot really compare a 1 year program with the 2 year programs. They have a different line and length, they have different course content. We can talk to you only about the programs out here. It's a 2 year rigorous program, and I think that once you complete these 2 years rigorous program, you will be eligible for getting quite good not only placements, but I insist more on the knowledge part, and I think you will be able to get that. Okay. Utkarsh says, will my experience in planning department will help in this course? Yes, definitely it will help. Utkarsh, typically if you are looking at construction project management and CEQS course, it will definitely help you. But I'll also urge you to refresh your civil engineering concepts because they form the base of all the management principles that we'll be teaching you. Um, yes, Rahul, the MAT score is valid. We have already talked about it. Um, okay. Ranjit again talks about construction project management versus construction management. In my parlance, Ranjit, these are the same thing. If you are referring to a construction management course offered by a specific institute, I will have to look at the specific curriculum to give you, give you a specific answer to that. Bikesh says you're a final year civil engineering student. I want to open my own company. So before it, I want to do construction management. But there are so many courses in RICS related to it. So which is better? As I told you, Ambikesh, and I've spoken before, it depends entirely upon what is your focus of your own company, which area that you would want to go in for. So if you want to take in construction projects, you want to act like a contractor, I think construction project management is a course for you. If you want to act as a consultant, even then construction project management can help you. But construction economics and quantity surveying would be a better choice. You could go in for a real estate and urban infrastructure MBA if you want to take up facility management as a consultant. There is a previous, a video on the YouTube in which our associate dean and director, real estate and urban infrastructure, also gave instances of people who've started their own facility management company after doing this particular course, and they're doing pretty well. So it depends entirely upon your the area that you want to have your business in. I think all the courses and their outlines are clearly available on the web. Please have a look at them, and I've given you a few choices right now. Gautam, about entrance and admission, I've already talked about it. Nandini, there are no part-time course as of now available for structural engineering, but we do offer, we have the Emerging Leaders program, which is for 6 months, and we are also offering another programs directly for you to be a part of it. You can look at the RICS SB website, and you can look at our Facebook page. These programs are often announced, so you could take these short-term courses. Um, okay. Mayuresh tells me about, will it be better to do CPM from RICS or from Lobro UK? Well, that depends entirely upon you, Mayuresh. I've already highlighted the positives of our course out here. You can do the comparison. Abhinav talks about 1 year construction management courses abroad. The 1 year management courses abroad, Mayuresh, have got a entirely different focus. Out here, we are, the amount of credits that we are offering and teaching for that, we feel that, a 2 year course is good enough. And there are different requirements for a 1 year courses. I've done my MBA was for 1 year from SP Jain's Global School of Management, but then the amount of rigor that is required and the amount of pre-experience that is required is a little different. So I would leave it to your better judgment to see whether you need a 1 year construction management courses abroad or this 2 year course out here. Abhinav says, are they valid in India? Now, there's a specific website. I'm not able to recall, but there are websites by the government of India which can give a parity of a university degree, a foreign university degree with the equivalent degree out here in India. You would probably need to search it on Google to find out that particular website, and it will be able to give you that equivalent course. But these courses are, this particular course is UGC certified because it is offered under the aegis of MIT University, and of course accredited by RSS SBE. I would not be sure whether these particular courses would be, would of course not be accredited by UGC or AICTE guidelines. So, the extent of their recognition in India would, or at times could be a little tricky. Okay. Um, yeah. So I'll take just 5 more minutes for your questions, please. Arya says, right now I'm working as a software engineer. What are my job prospects after doing an MBA CQS? Um, well, Arya, being a software engineer, I'm not sure that you've been a civil engineering degree for MBA CPM and CQS. We would prefer a BTech in civil engineering. That's what we prefer, or an architecture degree course. So you could easily go in for MBA REUI, or you could go in for MBA Infrastructure Project Management. Yes, Rahul, match scores are applicable. We've already talked about that. So after completing MBA CPM, I worked as a project management, and after MBA CQS, I can work as a quantity surveyor. But for achieving a position of CEO in any construction company, which MBA will help me? Amit, these MBAs will only help you to go for a certain extent in your career. Beyond that, it's really your attitude and your capability as a professional which will help you go and attain a position of CEO. Both these courses, and even I would say MBA REOI and MBA PGDFM, or sorry, PG Diploma in Facilities Management can take you to a position of CEO. In fact, there are CEOs who do not have any MBA degrees. So Madhav says, what position I get to work in industry after completing CQS? That depends entirely upon the model, Madhav. So they generally are placing people as assistant managers or apprentice managers before giving them a full-fledged position. That depends entirely upon the model of the company, so it will be difficult to draw a parity out here. But definitely, you will be a notch above than the people who are with a technical degree and who are doing this particular course. Ravi says, I need any site experience before joining MBA CPM program. Ravi, we do not have any minimum cutoff for your site experience for joining this particular program. Gautam says, can you say about the intern in the RACS and a job in abroad? Well, I hope you're talking about the internship, Gautam. So, of course, I mean, during this particular program, we have 4 credits of NDCC, that is the internship in the industry, 3 credits for other courses. And so you get a very good exposure in the industry, and you are given chance to apply your knowledge. And after that, you can definitely have very good options of getting a job abroad. Um, Sai Sumir says, presently I'm working as an assistant engineer in construction field. What type of opportunities can I expect after two years of MBA CPM? I've already talked to you about different companies. Samir, you are right now working as you right now have a technical degree and you have an experience, but an MBA in construction project management would definitely better your job prospects. RACS Noida or Mumbai, which would you suggest, sir? I mean, that's your call, Rakshita. That you need to make. For me, both the campuses are being run on the same philosophy, and I would not play an either-or situation. It's like asking a father to choose between their 2 sons. I would say they're equally good. You can choose whichever campus suits you better. Uh, when the program is going to start, Tushar, the program is going to start in July. The tentative dates are 12th of July 2017. Mr. Rawat says, any other admission process apart from writing examinations? Well, we've already talked about the kind of gate score. We have not specified right now. We have said that CAT and match scores are applicable, but beyond that, you'll have to, go in for, of course, a written test. I think the written test is not required for match after match. So if you have the match score, you are not required to go through the written test, but you have to qualify for the interview. Mustafa says, can I apply in Mumbai campus for 2017? Yes, you can. It's not too late. Vinod Reddy says, Noida and Mumbai. If you like me too much, Vinod, come to Noida, else you can go to Mumbai. Well, Ambikesh says, can RACS CPM pass out and work as a valuer? You can be given a job in valuation, but you have to have an MRICS degree to be, a certification to be taken as a valuer. But you can, go as a construction project management and work in the position of a valuer in a valuation firm. Yes, you can. Rahul, Rahul talks about what is the eligibility criteria. I think we've discussed it. Or you can basically write to us in the email us. Hemant says, I'm looking for admission in 2018. When will the admission start? Well, I think it's about time. I think the process will start in January, February 2018. You can then apply, Hemant. Mayuresh, does RACS have any management quota for admission? Frankly, Mayuresh, I mean, there's only one quota which is available, and that is your competence quota. Beyond that, we do not recognize any quota for admission. Can we do multiple courses at the same time abroad? Rajit, I'll really have to, plead ignorance about this specific question. I can only talk about the courses out here offered in RICS. RICS Noida or Mumbai, which would you suggest? Sir, Vinod, I've told you again, if you like me very much, come to RICS Noida. Otherwise, you can go to RICS Mumbai. Which field is booming in civil, as contractors, as a consultant, or any other? Hemant, all the fields are equally booming at right now because construction is in full swing, not only in the infrastructure sector, but all these smart cities are coming up. So all these degrees are equally applicable. Eventually, it is how much learning you derive out of the course that decides your success rate. Um, Mustafa, the course has started in Mumbai. You can already apply for it, and I think the sessions start almost the same time. That is July 2017. Um, Arya says I'm a civil engineer with 8 months of software engineering experience, and I'm really interested in MBA CQS. If you are a civil engineer, Arya, you're most welcome to come and apply here as a construction economics and quantity surveying degree. Shubham, what all documents? I think you would need your graduation mark sheets, 10th, 12th, and graduation mark sheets to apply here. Virang says not attempted any other exams other than GATE. Will I be eligible for admission? Yes, you would be. You will have to just go through the regular admission process. What all documents need to be submitted? I think I have repeated. It's 10th, 12th, and your engineering mark sheets. Can we do multiple courses here? No, you cannot, Zeal. But you do have an option of getting electives, opting for electives, which are not just related to the MBA Construction Project Management degree if you choose to do construction project management, but you are offered electives across the colleges. Mohit says MTech specialization is best or MBA CPM. I think I've already answered this question, Mohit. Well, thank you, Rahul. Mustafa says, I have a work experience of 3 years in billing of construction activities and planning for MBA CPM. Current CTC is 6 lakhs. Can I expect a decent height in CTC after completing the course? Mustafa, it is very difficult for me to comment on this particular course. I will not be able to say with certainty, as to how much hike that you can expect. That all depends upon the amount of leverage that you take out of this particular course and your performance in the interview. Mohit, what is the scope of MTech specialization? I guess you all know how MTech works. It is mostly a technical degree, and your options get limited to the specialization that you choose. So whether you choose to be a structural engineer or a water resource engineer, that's all it is. So, but in construction project management, you have got wider areas to choose from. Shubham, I've already talked about the placement of CPM this year. Currently, we have reached a figure of around 75 to 80%, and the placements are still continuing. Ayan says, I'm preparing for GATE. Is there any advantage in field after MTech in transportation? Well, Ayan, I am not looking keenly into the courses that you would have after MTech in transportation engineering. But about MBA CPM and all the MBAs out here, you definitely have an advantage. Well, Rahul, thanks a lot. If I've helped you, yes, of course. I'm looking forward to having you out here also in Noida. Um, okay. I think it is time to wrap up, guys. Okay, Mustafa, that'll be great if you are joining MBA CPM. I'll ask the dean to welcome you. And yes, this is the first batch. I think the faculty profiles will be shortly available to you. The recruitment process is still on. Um, and I've already talked about the parity of NICMAR with RACS. Um, Ravi, I've told you that the gate score is not considered. It's a GMAT. It's a MAT score that is valid, and you can write to RACS SB at racs.org for further clarifications, please. I think it's time for us to wrap up this webinar. I'm really sorry for any kind of technical glitches that might have occurred during this particular webinar. I thank you all who've joined here, and I had a great time interacting with you. I'm sorry if the questions, if I'm able not to attend to all your questions. The pace was quite fast. I tried to attend to most of them, but I really feel like a motor mouth right now. Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for attending. And if you have one quick question that you can ask, else I will be saying bye bye to you. I look forward to seeing most of you at the Noida campus or in the Mumbai campus. Thank you for all your interest. Bye bye, everyone. All the best for all the all the future careers that you would be choosing. Bye bye. Thank you again.